All right.
All right.
Are you already filming? Okay, good. All right, guys. 18.4. Castro did it again. This time we have two 21:15:9 workouts crammed into one 9-minute time cap. So we have heavy deadlifts, handstand push-ups, heavier deadlifts, and handstand walks. So these are movements that people can get themselves injured. So we are going to give you all of our recovery tips.
All of them.
To stay very, very healthy for this workout.
5,000 in the next 3 minutes. There's gonna be like 5,000 tips.
Warm-up tips.
Not really. All right, we picked
All
out.
of our exercises are tips for
We
the warm-up.
picked out 6 kind of key things that you need to be working on, and I think the biggest, 6. The biggest things that you guys have to work on is low back and shoulders. Would you guys agree?
Mm-hmm. And hamstrings.
So, and yeah, sure, and hamstrings.
Posterior chain and shoulders.
So deadlifts, handstand push-ups, that's both ends of the spectrum, and then we have deadlifts and handstand walks. So same concepts, right? The same exact thing. Overhead press, yes, and then a forward hinging posterior load on the backside. So we're each going to go through a couple of these things. Dr. Nick, what do you see happening? Do you think where are people going to have pain? Like what's this going to tear apart?
Hamstrings, shoulders, low back. Right, it's gonna get in there. There's no stopping it, especially with the intensity that you're gonna be hitting here. So it's gonna be important to get a really good warm up, right? Especially hamstrings, low back, shoulders. Okay, the first thing I want to show you is just a laying hamstring stretch, a supine on your back here, and then on each side I'm gonna do 10 high kicks, fixing the low back.
Good hamstring flexibility.
Oh, that's impressive. Woo! That's impressive.
All right, next is some shoulder warm-ups, right? We like a little bit of load to warm up the shoulders, right? And I'm also gonna do this in a half kneeling position. That way I cannot overarch and stress out my low back. Okay, with some kettlebells.
I'll spot him.
Pressing motion. Now, the first ones I'm just gonna do strict pressing overhead with the kettlebells held like this. 10 times there.
Those are styrofoam.
And then.
Ooh, bottoms up.
Bottoms up.
Game changer.
So pick a weight that's light, guys. This is a warm up.
All right. So those are good shoulder prep.
I have actually additional shoulder prep. So to get yourself inverted, get yourself a little bit more extension and feeling comfortable holding your weight there. We're gonna do some pike position shoulder taps. This is the video that I'm breaking out the baby bump.
She looks good.
So you don't see my belly.
I can say that. Nobody else.
All right, guys.
Look at that.
So you want to get yourself up into a pike position, keep your butt up in the air, and you want to shoulder tap.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Wow, I can't even do this. That's amazing.
Good, Dr. Steph.
Good job.
Tap the shoulders, and what that does is it just gets you ready for the handstand push-ups. The other thing, you guys, to get glutes, hamstrings, back, the whole posterior chain warmed up. Keep that box out. And you're going to use some bridges here. So you can do bent knee, or what's even a little harder is straight leg. No arms.
That looks really easy. That's not easy by any means.
10 to 15 of these, guys.
Okay. So we've done hamstring, we did shoulder, and we did a little bit of
glute activation.
Hip back glute activation. So the next thing you want to do is I'm going to progress a little bit of the standing hip activation and strength. I'm going to take off my custom gold chain, and we're going to turn that into a resistance for your resisted RDLs. So this is a lot of tension on this one. You can actually get a little bit less or more, whatever you need. But just make sure that you anchor this tight enough wherever you feel like you need more resistance. So you're going to hinge. You're going to try straight leg. Try straight leg and then try a bent knee to kind of simulate your own deadlift position. For myself, I do a little bit more of a bent knee position. Some people do that stiff at the 3. No, I'm so bendy. I'm like Gumby. So you want to have that enough resistance. Just make sure that you're not rounding. You're going to use this as a hip and glute activation, and not necessarily just loading to your spine, so that way you can simulate that on the deadlift. Okay, so use it as a actual simulation of the movement. Okay, so the piece that we haven't talked about is your wrists, right? So as you do handstand walks and handstand push-ups, the joints are going to get really stiff, right? And so we call that extension. And when you're in that locked in position, the joints just kind of cramp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little spacing technique to kind of open that up too, okay? So we're going to grab a super band here, and I'm going to put my wrist, and the bottom of the actual band is going to go inside right at that crease. We're going to play in different dimensions and see what feels best for you, okay? So I'm going to bring this out, and now I have tension on that band. So now I'm getting the movement of the wrist outside, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to load that and go into the extension. That for me doesn't feel as good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try a different method. Now I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to get a backward pull of that, and I'm going to go now forward, and that feels better. There's no easy answer on which one's going to be best for you. You're going to have to try these out. Then you can go rotate around the world. I'm going to do the same thing, put that at that wrist crease, come back, and that actually feels the best. That is amazing. So I'm going to keep that, and I'm going to use that to open up the wrist. So between wrist, hamstring, hip, shoulders, bad back, these are ways that you can warm up. The priority here is warm up. The movements themselves are really straightforward. It is about getting yourself ready. The recovery piece, I mean, just work through it. Your low back's gonna hurt. Yeah. So these are here to ensure that you're healthy throughout this workout, but actually beforehand. So I think what else, you guys? That's kind of the main things, right? You feel like shoulders, low backs, hamstrings are going to be your biggest bet. Any other injuries that you guys think of that might be?
I'm excited for everyone to maybe do some handstand walks for the first time. I'm excited to cheer people on. It's going to be fun.
I might get my first handstand push-up, so I'm really excited. Hey, don't laugh at people's goals. All right, guys, in behalf of Sports Performance, thanks for tuning in. We're almost done. One more week. Woo! Sports Performance! Good? Oh, wow.